Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. It is Thursday. I am feeling, it's Thursday, and I'm feeling frisky, and therefore we are doing a live stream. So I received some good news earlier today that I wanted to share with you guys. And we are going to dig into the details. And by details, I mean like it's an update that's going to take me all of 2 minutes because there's not a whole lot of detail there, but I am pleased to be able to give you guys an update on a few things. I will tell you that today has been a fantastic day. It is awesome when you talk to people and they're like, we've been thinking about you, or we have this opportunity for you, or they acknowledge you in some way, shape, or form. And many of those things have actually happened to me today. And it is therefore a good day as a result of that. And I will tell you, yesterday was not a good day for me. Yesterday was somewhat of a brutal day. But today was all about redemption, and that is why I am feeling a little frisky and decided to do this live stream. So I will give you guys an update. My Instagram here is playing a video on to the side. Before we get going, I want to say hello to some comic book soldiers that have joined me. And I will tell you, we'll do a little bit of a chat here. And honestly, I'm just going to be riffing off of whatever it is that you guys throw up in the comments because I have the announcement, but there isn't a whole lot that I want to talk about. But I did want to spend a little bit of time with you guys before the end of the week here. So say hello to some comic book soldiers. I see Connie in here. One of the Blue Wrenches, my man, Matt Woods. It is good to see you. Myth Lab Music is in the house. The OG of Blue Wrenches. Tina is in here. Tina, it is always good to see you, my friend. I hope all is well with you. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, but I want to thank you for coming into the live stream. I think this is the first time that I've seen your name. Welcome to you. And if there are any other people in here that are visiting for the first time, I definitely want you guys to put your hand up. Let us know that this is your first time so that we can acknowledge you. And I will try to do better with actual pronunciation of your name. With time, I get a little better. DB is in here. How you doing, my friend? It is good to see you. Scrolling down through the names, seeing who else is in here. My man Wes is in here. It is good to see you, my friend. Scrolling. I was talking to young Matthew earlier today. I expected to see young Matthew in here, but he might actually be celebrating. He may be celebrating. Young Matthew was able to get his driver's license earlier today. He is a licensed driver. He sent me a message and I said to him, am I still allowed to call you young Matthew if you now are of the driving age? And he says, I will always be young Matthew. Then I encouraged him to not crash up his parents' car like I was known to do as a younger version of myself. But let me do this announcement really quick. And then again, we're going to kind of riff off of whatever it is that you guys throw up in the comment section. And then I'll give you some other little announcements and things like that as they kind of come to my mind. So earlier today, I received an update that the blue labels for the Regie Collects exclusive variant of Gung Ho issue number 7 from Ablaze is finally, those books are finally through the grading process. So we have a few handful of the blue labels en route to us. So I am very pleased about that. My guess is that they will not arrive before like Monday or Tuesday of next week. That is my guess because of the weekend and stuff like that. But they have been through the grading process. There is a nice number of 9.8s that are en route. As soon as I get these books in hand, I am immediately going to bundle up every single order for someone that pre-ordered a blue label or a blue label and yellow label. I'm going to bundle those up. I'm going to put them in the mail and I'm going to send them out to you. And all of you, everyone that did a pre-book will receive an update via their email, right? So via the website, my site, you will get your updates. So just rest assured, and then I will probably also do a live stream to let you guys know that indeed they have been mailed. I want to thank everyone out there that did a pre-book. I want to thank you for your patience. I did not anticipate the blue labels taking as long as they have. I would have never held the yellow labels had I known the blue would take as long, but we will get these bundled up to you guys. And again, I want to thank everyone, whether you picked up the raw copy or you picked up the yellow label or the blue label or a combination thereof. I want to thank all of you for supporting my very first variant. It was a major milestone, and I am pleased to see that project come to its conclusion with me being able to mail out these blue labels. There are some people that have inquired about additional copies. There are raw copies of the variant, which again, the people are still asking, what do you have hanging on your wall? That is the variant right there on the wall. There are some raw copies available on the website, regiecollects.com. There will be a handful of blue labels that will be posted to the site at some point after I process orders. There will be some that are going to be placed up there for people to be able to pick up. I probably will not have any more yellow labels, to be completely honest. I will probably have no more yellow labels besides the ones that I'm going to keep and the ones that are going to be sent off to fulfill pre-book orders. So hopefully that helps people that have inquired about what's going on with blue labels. You guys now know everything that I know. And certainly if you guys have questions, throw it up there and throw it up in all caps, because that will actually help me to be able to see it. And I'm scrolling through some of the comments here, trying to see if there's anything. And you guys are just having a fantastic conversation with yourselves, which I am in full support of. I'm just making sure that there's no questions about some of the stuff that I'm talking about. And I am not seeing anything. Dude, it is good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Young Matthew makes you feel old. Brother, I'm gonna be honest with you, Pretty Fly. Young Matthew makes everybody feel old, right? And here's the thing. He makes me personally feel old and stupid. Here's what I mean by that. Young Matthew just received his driver's license. Young Matthew also has assembled quite the collection of Amazing Spider-Man for a man of his age. He has books in his collection that grown men twice and sometimes even three times, thrice his age do not have. So I applaud young Matthew for doing what it is that he is doing. Definitely a good kid that I've had the pleasure, I think we've met 3 times. 2 or 3 times, I think I've met young Matthew. Very, very good kid. Comes from a very good family. From everything that I've seen from interacting with his mother, the 2 times that I've met her. So scrolling back down through the comments here, seeing if there's anything there. DB's like, I am 3 times plus older. Brother, it's probably better that we don't get caught up in the numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's probably better that none of us do the math to calculate exactly how old we are versus young Matthew. Super chat just dropped in. Just happy to, man, Joe, brother. If I had known that it would have taken this long, my man, I would have made other arrangements. I honestly had no clue. But what I think happened is that I think that the yellow labels, because they are creator books and creator submissions, were processed at a faster timeline than a regular submission. And because CGC decouples things, right? They decoupled like the invoice and the name and all that kind of stuff. So they were viewed as 2 separate orders when they were really 1. And so I think that that's part of why they were processed at completely different times. So for me, there are some lessons here to be learned. And the question becomes, if I were to do something like this in the future, how best to do it? And there's a couple of things that I will probably do differently in the future, knowing how quickly or not things are processed. And that is not a ding against CGC. It's just an acknowledgement that they have a process that they adhere to. and that sometimes you have to change how you approach the situation so as to not hold on to people's money for an extended length of period, which is exactly what I've been doing, which makes me very uncomfortable, to be completely honest with you. But the goal is to get this stuff out to you guys in a timely fashion. So Funk Comics is in the house. My brother Scott P is in the house. It is good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome. If you guys haven't seen all of the blog posts, Scott is one of the bloggers. He is also one of the folks that I go to help me with graphics. The dude is doing a bang up job. And I will tell you, wait till you guys see what we've been working on. What we have been working on, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Stay tuned for the video. Scrolling through, who else do we have in here? Al is in the house. Al, it's good to see you. We just got a super sticker. So these guys right here, man, these guys from Alaska. What's crazy is that I received a message the other day from an Alaskan who said, I did not know about Aegis Comics in Alaska, but I'm in Alaska and I just made the drive over to go visit these guys and check out their shop. So it's like I'm connecting Alaskans with Alaskans all the way from the great state of California. The power of the internet is a wonderful thing. It is good to see you guys. Welcome to the live stream. I absolutely appreciate you all's continued support up there in the state of Alaska. There he is, young Matthew in the house. I thought you'd be out driving, brother. I thought you'd just be out driving just circles around the block, just repeat. It is good to see you, my friend. It definitely is. Let me see. CGC is grading my book on Mars. It's taking so Oh man, no worries, Reggie. We all knew the CGC isn't a quick process and you were very upfront. Yeah, I tried. I honestly tried to be, but at the same time, it still bothers me. I'm gonna be completely honest. I would say, Matt, that if the blue labels had come back in the same amount of time as the yellow label, I would have felt better about it. But the fact that it's been like at least another month, I feel some kind of way about that, right? And if we decide to do this thing again with another variant, we may have to do things a little bit differently. We may have to do things differently. I need to think about it. I'll probably reach out to a couple of people like yourself to be like, here's a couple of scenarios that I'm thinking about. What do you think? So again, I'm definitely open to hearing what it is that you guys want to talk about. If there's things you want to dig into, throw it up in all caps. That'll actually help me to see it. I want to give another shout out to my man, Scott P, because Scott today was he was out there working. My man was working. And Scott put up he tagged me a couple of times over the course of the day. And one of the posts, the tags that he commented on was the owner and founder, I do believe, of Boom Studios. And it was around a book that Boom Studios was coming out with that Scott was actually going to try to review for my blog on RegieCollects.com. And so I commented back. Like because he tagged me. I commented back. I was like, that's a dope book. I'm looking forward to reading it myself. And then the president and the founder of Boom Studios acknowledges me like he's familiar with the work that I do here at the channel. And that caught me off guard. And I was kind of like, you humble me with the acknowledgement that you actually recognize who I am. And he commented again, and it was for me, it was a little bit of a surreal moment to understand that a publisher of that status was aware of who I was here in California on camera. You know what I'm saying? So it was honestly a humbling moment that the guy had some familiarity with what it is that I do here. It's cool, man. It's one of those things that you have to take the moment and just acknowledge just how cool that moment actually is. You know what I'm saying? Because a younger version of me would have been like, that's no big deal. Let's just keep it moving. What's the next big thing? That's but the more mature me, the more refined version of me tries to pause for just a second to acknowledge just how cool that is, and the stuff that I'm doing now with the channel, I never would have imagined 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, whatever it was, that any of this would have been possible. And the things that I'm doing are just really cool. And people like, how are things going? I'm like, I'm living my best life. My family life is good. My professional life is good, right? A lot of stuff going on there, but good. And then this comic stuff is also just really, really cool, So I want to continue to thank all of the folks that surround this channel, the Patreon members, the Blue Wrenches, the folks like Scott and Doug who contribute to the blog post, even though they don't get paid. They do it because they have a love for comics. They have a love for the comic book community. And I think that they appreciate the content that I put out. And so I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. My boy earlier today was actually the recipient of an award from his teacher. And I was upstairs working and I knew that he was getting this award. So I walked downstairs. As soon as I heard his name, I walked downstairs and the teacher starts to talk about him and what he's doing. And she calls him bold. And she also said that he's very sincere. And, to me, it was a great compliment, because my boy is a very, very sincere person. She said, when you say something, it is clear that you actually mean it from your heart. And it is so true. You know what I'm saying? Like my boy, I don't say things easily, but when I say them, I actually do mean them. And that was really cool to see her acknowledge his boldness, but then also his sincerity as well, because I think that's kind of sort of a pretty nice balance, There's a super chat that just came in. Thomas, thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate this. This channel brought me some great friends. Man, bro. I need to send you an email and not an email, but I need to send you a DM. I've had a couple of exchanges about you, Thomas, and I need to send you a message because you knew what was coming. And indeed it did come. And I did exactly what you asked me to do. But we need to have another conversation. But Thomas is a very, very good guy. And I mean, this is an example of a person that has built within this channel's community, I think a friendship with several people, and I think that I can say that in a lot of different instances, there are these fantastic little relationships that exist. And it is humbling to me to know that these relationships are happening because of my channel. I think that that's really, really cool that people have ongoing discussions off channel, right? Whether it be on Instagram or Facebook or email or even phone for that matter, people are talking. And I think that that's really cool that I've been able to kind of create an environment where people can have friendships. And the reality is that many of these people may never, ever meet one another. But the fact that we as a group of collectors can come together with our shared interest in comics and just be able to have fun and enjoy one another. I think that that's really cool. So one of the questions that I do have for you guys, how am I looking right now? This is not a vanity question. It is really not a vanity question, but I am continuing to make tweaks and modifications here in the room. Some of you know out there, because I kind of mentioned it to you, that I picked up some new lights. I actually have new LED lights here in the room. I actually had LEDs before, but these are new. These are dimmable. These have some dials and some knobs and some displays on the back of them. They are like super fancy. But I have my new lights here. And I've done a couple of things, so I'm trying to see how things look. Dream Gold, man, I'm telling you, Mountain Peak. The first time I pulled that variant out of the box was like a dream come true. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It was cool. I've had a couple of these just amazing milestones in my life. One of them was the first time I was on. Well, let me restate: the first and only time I was on the cover of a magazine. That was huge. It was a small magazine, not a big magazine, but small magazine, but it's still huge. You know what I'm saying? There are a couple of really, really cool milestones that you just have to stop and acknowledge just for how cool they actually are. And pulling my own variant out of a box and seeing my face on the backside, that was a moment. We actually caught it on film. I look like an idiot. Who cares? Scrolling down. What is this? What is this? Reggie caught that light adjustment video. Well done, bro. So last night I was in here. Lee is up in here. Lee, it's good to see you, brother. Welcome, man. It is always, I talk to Lee like these days, literally every day, all day. It literally all day, every day. I am engaging Lee in some kind of discussion, right? But yeah, I was in the room. The lights came yesterday. I was in the room. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna test this out. I'm gonna try to play with my lights here. So I got my lights all set up, and I did a test stream because I wanted to do a live stream with this camera, and I wanted to watch it back to see how my adjustments to the settings, like the position of the lights, the dimming and the brightness of the lights, how it was, you know, showing up on camera. And somehow or another, the first time I did it, it was fine. The second time I did it to test it, the video actually, or the live stream was actually truly live. And before I knew it, like 11 people had joined the live stream as I was in here in the room. And then I ended it. And then I had to go delete it. And before I deleted it, like a couple of more people had actually watched it. I was like, man. So Juggernaut caught that. There you go. Also saw, there you go. Thomas is like, yep, I saw. Well, a tad blurry on the left to my right. Look to my right, it's a little blurry, says Jerry. I don't know why that would be. Oh, you mean probably because of the background. The background right here is probably a little blurry. Well, the reason is, and a lot of people will say in my videos that I look like I'm leaning or crooked or something like that. Part of the reason for that is that I angle the camera this way so that it's aiming like this way, right? Which is why that over there is blurry, is because I have a window right here and no one wants to see these ugly blinds, right? The blinds aren't ugly, but no one wants to see the blinds. They want to see like the artwork and stuff like that. So the camera's angled this way, which is why it looks like things are leaning, but they really aren't. So hopefully that explains that. But yes, that is why that is a little blurry. If I had it face on, you might be able to see the blinds. But then there's also another, if you watch certain people's videos, sometimes you'll get an out of focus moment when the camera is flat. There'll be an out of focus moment when they do certain things, but by having it at a slight angle, I don't get that out of focus moment when you are supposed to be looking at me. So there's a couple of reasons why I do it, but everything you do has some positives and some negatives. So let's just put it that way. Scrolling down through, I just lost a bunch of the comments. Everyone jumping on any live stream. I don't know what that comment meant there. I have to catch that one. New Lights says, Sully Two Kings, is good to see you, brother. Thank you, my man. Let me scroll up. Nope, new camera. Camera's the same. Camera's the same. I have not made any adjustments to my camera. I have a 1080p camera external that I actually use, that I started using probably 3 months ago. So that's not necessarily new. And then I still use for my pre-recorded videos are all shot at 4K. So those are all the same. No improvements there. But I do have my lights. My two lights here on the front are different positions, and also new lights. And then the light behind me is also in a slightly different position. So I've been watching a ton of videos on the YouTube machine about lighting, about growing the channel and stuff like that, because I'm always trying to improve. So there's always these cycles that I go through of watching a bunch of YouTube like self-help type of videos, and then I make the improvements, and then I kind of continue on, and then I make some more improvements. So you know, it's all about a little bit of growth there. So scrolling through the comments here, well said, brother. Sometimes it's best not to look directly at the gibbon. What is this? Regie, drop one of the G's. Drop one G from that. I wanted to ask if you ever thought about making that first full appearance on Comic Tom. I've been on Comic Tom's channel. I've been on Comic Tom's channel one time. I was on this channel. It was Bueller, Tom, and I had a conversation. It was It was last year. It was 2019, towards the end of 2019. We actually did it. I honestly don't do a whole lot of guest appearances, to be honest with you. I have very few YouTubers come onto my channel, and I tend to do very few appearances on other people's channels. And there's several reasons for it. One of the big things, honestly, is I kind of do my own thing, right? I have a schedule that I adhere to that works for my family, that works for my career. And then when you try to go on someone else's channel, you have to make all these adjustments in order to fit their schedule. And that sometimes can be hard, So that's like part of it. The other part of it is honestly, I kind of do my own thing. I kind of do my own thing. I don't do a whole lot of people on my channel. And it's like, that's no shot on anyone else. I just kind of do my thing. So, I wish, scrolling down to the comments, it's not, man, Rush. Thank you, bro. That's what I was looking for. It's not my jam. It's just not, it doesn't grate my cheese. It's just not my jam, but I have thought about it. I have thought about trying to do more appearances, because here's the reality. The reality is that I talk to Comic Tom behind the scenes, not a ton, but I talk to him behind the scenes. I talk to Jim Mint behind the scenes. I talk to Comics with Bueller behind the scenes. Like, we all talk to one another, not like every day, but we do have a dialogue. Like, you'll see if you follow me on Instagram, I repost on Instagram a lot of Jim Mint's posts, and I will post Tom's stuff occasionally as well, and vice versa. So we definitely have a mutual respect for one another. Even Very Gary, right? We have a little bit of back and forth occasionally. We've spoken about doing some things. It just never really materializes, because he's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing, and so it just never really materializes. Well done. Let me see. That is fun. Vanessa says collaborations are fun, but not necessary. And that's the thing. It's just, I don't know. What's funny is that there's this new feature. YouTube just rolled out this new feature in our analytics, where you can actually look to see who your audience views besides yourself. And so when you look at my audience, it tells me exactly who you guys also watch. And so it's kind of interesting that the people that I actually talk to are very much the same people that you guys watch. So I think that that's very interesting, that there's that level of overlap. And so maybe I should start talking about like Comics Explained, right? Because Comics Explained almost has like 2 million subscribers. So maybe if I start talking about him, some of his people will come here. But it's interesting because, again, Very Gary, Jim Mint, Comic Tom, and Comics with Bueller, those are essentially, according to Google, if you will, the 4 types of channels that you guys tend to watch. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. So scrolling down through some of the comments here, seeing who else you guys are talking about. Again, if you guys throw it up in all caps, it actually helps me to be able to see it a little bit better. What is this? Scrolling through. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you, my friend. It is good to see you. I actually sent somebody your way the other day. This guy that I was talking with was looking for a comic that you and I recently discussed, and it was the grade that we were discussing. This guy was looking for it, so I provided him with your Instagram. So I don't know if he followed up with you. You know me, I don't like to get in the middle of it, but I will do some introductions. So if you do get an email, or a direct message from somebody on Instagram looking for that book that we discussed the other day, just be aware. Just be aware that I tried to send somebody your way. So scrolling through the comments here again, trying to look to see what you guys are talking about. Regie X-Men 221 is gaining steam. Is it gaining steam? Let me look to see. Let me look to see what might be happening with this particular book. X-Men, let's see, 221. Let's see what this book is actually doing. 221. I wonder why. I haven't, let me see. Let me go to go collect real quick, see what it is actually doing. So, I mean, I think that, what surprised me is that that book didn't gain a little bit of steam earlier on in the Dawn of X stuff, right? Because Mr. Sinister was a little bit of a focus for Jonathan Hickman for a while there. So I would have assumed that that book would have potentially gained a little steam. And it looks like the prices are actually somewhat stable, right? I mean, going back to September of this year, you were looking at 349, right? So 349, 325, 255 was a good deal. 312, 290, 290, 305, 291. I mean, it's somewhat stable. I mean, it's 335. The most recent sale was what, 10-4, 4 days ago at 335. But there was a sale on 10-2 for 345. I mean, in September, there was a sale for 376. So I don't know if it's gaining steam versus staying pretty constant. Those were all 9.8s, I should say. FMV for that book is still 290. So 290 is the FMV for Uncanny X-Men 221, the first appearance of Mr. Sinister. And the most recent sales are going for north of $300, depending upon the day. So definitely a cool book, man. I mean, I picked up a 9.8 of that several months ago. I have several raw copies of it as well. But Mr. Sinister is not a bad character to pick up. I'm a big believer, to be honest with you, that the X-Men books are the books to have and to hold for right now, right? So, I have a lot of X-Men books. I am holding a lot of them, to be honest with you, because I'm holding a lot of the higher grades because when the X-Men come to the MCU, that's where all the magic is going to get made, right? From a sales standpoint, from a value standpoint. So the fact that the books are doing well now, I'm like, great. Let's see what happens when they come to the MCU, whenever that happens to be. So scrolling down through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. What is this? X-Men 221 will be back around once we get into how Mr. Sinister starts combining all the different DNAs. Yeah, at some point, Tiger, they will actually get to the Chimera, right? At some point, you're going to imagine, right? One of the great things about what they did with House of X and Powers of 10 is that they put all these threads out there. Jonathan Hickman just did a really good job of like putting all of these great threads out there that probably for like decades or so, there are threads that different writers can pull depending upon the book that they're working on and the story that they want to tell and what the editors allow them to talk about. But there's so many threads that he put out there. One of them, again, is the Chimera and the database that he built based upon mutant DNA and all this other kind of stuff that I think will make for some really great stories down the road. Just Pele had a comment here. I still have the CGC 9.9 X-Men 221 in the shop. No offer, man. No offer. How much is it, brother? Let's put it. What's the sales price? What's the asking price on that 9.9? Here's the thing, Flash fan. Don't be impressed, okay? Don't be impressed by what Just Pele has, because he will hurt your feelings with the quality of books that he has at his shop. Okay, he will pull out some stuff that you just will have to shake your head at, because it is some gorgeous stuff. Shout out to Just Pele. I follow him on the Twitter machine. He puts up some good stuff that I really enjoy checking out whenever I'm on Twitter, which isn't that often. Chris Bigger. Is that DC? Is that DC or Image? I'm not quite sure. The Three Jokers. It sounds familiar. Three Jokers is fantastic. Issue number 2, supremely well done. It really was supremely well done. The Three Jokers is one of my favorite reads right now. I think that they are doing a really, really good job with that. The art is fun. The storytelling is great. The dialogue is fantastic. It is really, really well done. Wait a minute. Have I seen the finale? No. Has the finale happened? I think I have seen it, Dan. I think I have seen it. I'm going to be honest with you. The Boys this season was incredible. There was a moment there in one of the episodes where I thought that it was going to go awry with the shapeshifter. I thought it was going to go awry, but they pulled it out. and it was cool. But The Boys this year was really, really fantastic. I watched last Friday's episode, and I don't know if that was the finale. It could have been. If that was it, I will say that it was great, but I would also say that this season was way too short. I felt like we were just getting going. I would love to see more. I am a big fan of The Boys. I really do enjoy that show. So scrolling down through some of the comments here, Joey says, X-Men was one of the first titles I was able to complete thanks to eBay in the 90s. Congrats on that. If Lee is still here, he is probably very jealous of that comment because I believe that he is actually working on that run as we speak. There was a comment here. I should do something. What was the comment? Hold on one second. Bear with me. Bear with me. Hey, you should do a video on comic books with records. So the only comic book with records that I actually have is the Superman comic book that someone sent me as an AOK. So it might be a very, very short video. You know, I try to do videos on things that I have in my collection, because I think that, you know, I think talking about stuff is one thing, but also talking about things with examples and being able to touch it and experience it, I think that's a different story. And because I only have the one book, I can't really do a full video based upon that, right? You know, and I'm a big fan, again, of like having the stuff here in the room, because I think that it makes for a better story when I'm able to show you the examples and kind of talk through it and experience it, and I better understand it because I have it in the collection. I only have the one, so I can't really do much. Can't really do much with that. 2,500 for a 9.9 of X-Men 221. That is yeah. Scrolling down through the comments. What is this? Glad I got two of those X-Men 221. Let the prices spike, baby. Well done, brother. Well done. Scrolling down through the comments. I do appreciate you, bro. I really do. And I mean, we're laughing and joking and stuff like that, having a good time, but I absolutely do appreciate you. I really do. Scrolling down through the comments here, the great thing about all the X-Men books is that the X-Men can have so many stories once they hit the MCU. Lots of man. And that's the thing. And that's the thing. The premise behind the Red Ocean versus Blue Ocean is to be ahead of the curve. Right. And we know that the X-Men are coming to the MCU. It is going to happen. Right. And so it's like, if you can find these fantastic X-Men keys, and there are a lot of them, buy them. Why not buy them now while they're cheap? And yes, you won't be able to buy this hot book over here, but by not buying the hot book, you might actually be able to buy 3 of these other not so hot books that will eventually become hot. And then when you sell those 3 books, how many more books can you actually buy as a result, right? And the great thing about it is that if you actually do enjoy the X-Men like I enjoy the X-Men, it's not a bad thing to have X-Men books in my collection. I have bins and bins of Amazing Spider-Man. I love Amazing Spider-Man. I can't have too many Amazing Spider-Man, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm sitting here right now with some Scotty Young goodness. Some Scotty Young goodness right now. I mean, I'm hoping to find that one with a different word bubble there, but no luck just yet. Oh, you know what? That actually brings me to another point. This last Sunday's Ready, Set, Go preview show prize has not been claimed. So if you have not yet watched Sunday's show, you probably want to go check out the show, because you may be the winner of this book right here, Batman 357. And if indeed you are, you definitely need to claim your prize sooner rather than later, because this prize will end up going to second place. So if you are in second place, you definitely want to get ready, because you will have your opportunity to claim this book if it is not claimed by this Sunday. So definitely stay tuned for that. Scrolling down through the comments here. I'm hooking people up. Scrolling through the comments here. I didn't lose my chat. I thought I had lost my chat there for a hot second. I'm actually waiting for the chat to go out, because you guys have heard me say that the chat goes out. I've been in contact with the service provider that provides my interface here, and they were like, can you send us a photo when it actually goes out? So I'm like, you want it to fail so I can send you a photo so that you can solve the problem? Yeah, I'll send you a photo. So more to come on that one. Scrolling down through this, yeah, I didn't think it was out. I thought it was like, I think we're on like episode maybe 5, because 4 was like where I was worried, and I want to say it's on 5, and I think there's 8 episodes in The Boys this year, but I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong about that. You guys it came out today. The Boys? Are you talking about The Boys? I thought it came out on Fridays. Scrolling down through the comments here. See what else you guys are talking about. Can't wait to get my Thor 1 Scotty Young variant back from his signing. Very nice. Very nice. How many copies of ASM 110 do you have? I don't know. Maybe 6? Maybe 6? Maybe 6, because I've given some away. So like maybe 6, I think. I haven't counted. I just picked up one a couple of weeks ago from my local comic shop. They actually had one in there, so I was able to pick it up. Yeah, I know. The thing is, they asked for it after. I sent them a message where I was like, thumbs down, because they do this thing after my live streams end. They're like, how do we do? Thumbs up or thumbs down? So I'm like, thumbs down. And then I type in their chat failed. And 6 emails later, they finally understand what I'm trying to describe. And then they're like, can you take a photo? And I'm like, from 4 days ago? No, I can't take a photo now. Scrolling through, just Pele trying to make magic happen in here. Do I have the full run? Yes, I have the full run of Amazing Spider-Man. I actually completed the full run maybe 6 months ago. With COVID, it's all a blur. It's like one day that lasts forever. But yeah, I completed the full run several months ago. Drop 1G, and you will find me. It is REGIE collects. Regie collects. If you look up 2Gs, you will not find it, but Regie collects. Right there. You should be able to find me on the Instagram machine. What is this? Drop 1G chat. Change your display in the back. Weren't those from before your personal collection? I'm not quite sure. This has been the display probably for about a month now. You have to remember, like whenever folks were looking at videos, depending upon when the video airs, you could be looking at a video that was filmed 3 weeks ago or possibly like a month ago, depending upon if I lost the video in my archives or not. So I'm constantly in this state of, past, present, future kind of thing with videos. But this has been the display for probably about a month, I want to say. So scrolling down through the comments here, which is the first appearance? The first appearance is the one that you have in your collection. That is the first appearance. The one that you have in your collection. I have both. It's 181. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Wow. Push Fighter says, managed to score a Silver Age X-Men #2, and it came yesterday. Very happy. Congrats, man. Well done on that one. That is quite the accomplishment. The Vanisher's first appearance in X-Men #2 is definitely a really, really cool book to have in one's collection. So congrats on that one. Scroll. Just 1G, man. Just 1G. That is all. What book is that on the back wall? That book on the back wall is the Regie Collects exclusive variant of Gung Ho issue #7, done by Yukio Smith. It is an homage to Amazing Spider-Man 110 #Gibbon Gang. And that book, Gung Ho issue #7, is from Ablaze. Ablaze is the publisher. The very dope artist, again, is Yukio Smith, that actually collaborated with me to do that really, really awesome variant back there. If you were interested in getting a copy, you can actually get a raw copy on regiecollects.com. Dang it. I gotta learn how to point. It's over there. regiecollects.com. Scrolling through the comments here. There you go. Tina's on the blue wrench. The blue wrench is on. Scrolling down to the comments here. I absolutely appreciate my team of people, man. I appreciate my team. Reggie, are you going to pick up the McFarlane Black Panther cover? No, I am not. I'm not going to pick it up. I think it's definitely a cool. I think it's a cool book, man. I'm probably not going to pick it up. Wait a minute. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Can you send me a photo? Just Pele on the Instagram. Can you send me a photo? Just Pele. Man, I'm telling you, this guy, this guy, he has some awesome books. Yeah, I would like to see it. There are some Batman and detective comic books that I absolutely want in my collection. There's a couple of things that I need to do in the Marvel world first, but once I do those things, I'm going to be looking over there at that DC world. But I would love to be able to check that out. One Grand Simmons, you are hilarious. Well done. All right. So again, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me here just a little bit. It's a little bit of an impromptu live stream that I decided to do. So the big announcement for those that came in a little bit late, so that people know that it wasn't clickbait. I am super pumped that the blue labels for the variant that is hanging on the wall back there, my variant is actually, they've gone through the process at CGC and are in the process of being mailed to me. As soon as those blue labels arrive, everyone that did a pre-book will receive their book. I'm immediately going to bundle up all of the blue labels and all of the blue labels and yellow labels, probably the ones that are literally on my wall, bundle them up, and I'm going to send them out to every single person that did a pre-book. So my hope is that early next week, I will have those in the mail. And again, I want to thank any and everyone that placed an order for the variant for making the project a success, because it really was a successful project. And it was honestly a dream come true. And I will tell you guys that we are headed towards 10,000 subscribers. And I have some awesome surprises and announcements that I will be making once we get to 10,000 subs. There are some things that I've been working on in the background that I'll be announcing to you guys. And then I have a nice stack behind this camera. I have a nice stack of comics and other things that I will be giving away that have been provided by subscribers of the channel to celebrate the fact that I've reached 10,000 subscribers. So if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I want to encourage you to do so, to put us over that threshold so that we can give away some really awesome stuff to the comic book community. The only thing is, once you subscribe, you cannot unsubscribe ever, because that would just be a true betrayal of trust and all that other stuff, you know. Again, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit. If you guys need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects, REGIE Collects, or you can send me an email to reggie@regiecollects.com. If you need me, I am not too hard to find. Take care.